morning, Mike.
What's going on, sir? How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing okay. I wound up watching, the last video that you sent to me.
Okay.
And I will have to say that a lot of the information that I was listening to was pretty much new information to me. And all of it was very informative because it was giving me some insight as to some of the things that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the last video, the one with Haney and Shakur talking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I found to be prevalent in that video, there was a lot of he said allegations being made on both sides that was indicating that what was being said wasn't being interpreted by the other side correctly. So it was a lot of back and forth going on. But what I took from it, the end result, is that in order for a fight to be made, the father was telling Shakur that, listen, you need to go and you need to campaign for the fight because we have all the belts. And because we have all the belts, there are going to be many people coming after us to fight because in order to be champion, basically, you got to go through Devin. So if you want to fight, you go ahead and you campaign for it because we're not turning down nobody. So based on that, what the father is saying is that you go, you get it done, and we're going to fight you. Because, we got all the belts. So I just got to wait and see how this is going to materialize because what the father said makes sense. Because everybody's going to come after Devin because he's the champ, the undisputed champ. And if you're going to come into this division and you want to fight the champ, go ahead and do your leg work because we're going to fight you. Now, after listening to, both sides go back and forth, what was your final interpretation of that discussion? Am I seeing it differently or enlighten me as to, how you take it?
Well, my whole thing is, I understand both sides. I do. Part of me, the fan in me, there's a fan in me that I want to see the good fights, right? The fan in me know that boxing is a brutal sport. The fan in me looks at this is a payday, for them guys instead of Loma, instead of George. Because remember, T.O. didn't get it. Like, I'm looking at okay, y'all could do this now. Like, all this waiting, we just got the hangover with Spence and Bud. And this to me, this face-to-face video, because you didn't see the face-to-face video, you just saw the one. You saw the one where it showed from Bill Haney, but that's almost like the Spence. That's almost like the Spence Bud thing that everybody referred to, the red hoodie versus the black hoodie. This was like trying to recreate that moment. So my whole thing is this: when you start to buy into when these guys are saying, man, I want to fight, I'm ready to do it now. It's like, because the social media era, you get a lot of that. I'm ready to do it now, or yeah, I want them next. But behind closed doors, y'all all had an agreement. So I look at it like, man, y'all all, you can point fingers wherever you want, but y'all had an agreement. That popped out. They had an agreement. I'm like, okay, so don't play the fans then. Don't be going all extra on the fans and all these other boxes trying to promote a fight. There are positive ways to promote a fight. You don't have to do that. So if y'all had an agreement, you know, it's like it's almost like it's a circus now. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know when these guys are, because I see a whole lot of friendly energy right now. I remember when Tank was just up on the docket, but now he got two fights. They on the same side of the street. They in the same division now. Yeah, granted, Devin got the whole thing, but all this I'm moving up and all this weight stuff, it's like, man, you come on, man. You didn't even want to fight Lomachenko until I was the only one back then when I was saying that. Everybody was saying he don't got to do that. He moving up. Now all of a sudden Loma looked the way he looked, and you standing still and standing tall for Loma. Like, make it make sense. Like, I wanted to see that. I think that it'll stamp his legacy, but then that's another thing to where, that's why I'm like, you know, you hear Bill and you be like, you know, I do what I gotta do to promote the fight. And I guess it's working because we talking about it. But, you know, that's just the realist in me. It's working because we talking about it, but it's like, this shit is really entertainment to me right now. It's really like entertainment. Like, I want the X's and O's. Like, we, you know, our commonality right now is that we like to see the sweet science and motion inside the ring. If it's not leading to that anytime soon, don't string us along. And you gotta bear with me because I'm getting over the whole, I'm still, you know, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen, man. I don't think that's February 29th is when that fight's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So now we building this up, and it's like, oh, but y'all had already agreed that as y'all move up in divisions. So what was all the smoke? There was all cap, is what the young people say. Like, that's big cap to me. But I mean, you gotta promote your thing, and then people, I notice now people don't like when I tell the truth. It's like if you catch somebody on a lie, you know what I'm saying, a blatant lie. But like, look at this, because they were getting ready to paint Shakur like a duck, but they all had an agreement. But then in one of the videos where I showed you where the dude was talking about how Devin walked away from, he said Mikey Garcia, he called Mikey Garcia out, and Mikey Garcia went in a different direction. Then you hear his father on there 8 months later talking about, I never asked for the Mikey Garcia fight. And the dude was like, the guy credit to who put it out there, he was like, but why not? That's how you become the A side. And he was like, he said, I didn't want it right now. That was 8 months after he had called Mikey Garcia out, and they still running with it as of Saturday that Mikey Garcia ducked Devin. But people, casual people who don't know that kind of stuff and don't know the timeline, they don't really understand that the people are still lying. That's my whole thing. So I'm like, man, it's a business. Everybody's doing whatever it's a business, and I'm really about the boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm really about the boxing. I don't know any other thing out of any of them videos. You know, that's my take on it all. But out of any of them videos, but your take, how selfish of me. I apologize. On your take, hold on. I want to respond to your take because I was all about me just now. Let me speak on your take. I agree with you. I'm not just being a yes man, but you know, Devin does have the right. You know what I'm saying? He does have the right because he does hold all of them belts, and he deserves the respect to be able to, you know, he basically just A-sided them. You know what I'm saying? He basically did some A-side like. He ain't little boy him because they cool, but he kind of sunned him a little bit. He kind of was like, look, man, you know what I'm saying? But he had Big Papa up there. That's what I didn't like about it. I'm like, Shakur should have had other representation, because it was like, you had Big Papa up there, then you got Devin chiming in, and Core, he's standing his own, but I'm like, I wish he would have had representation. That conversation would have represented something else. I think it would have had more balance, you know what I'm saying? Because Shakur is respectful, so he wasn't going like really buck, because he looked at him like an uncle. That's what came out. But to Devin's credit, he got that, he holding all the marbles. He could dictate whatever. So it's just another way. But you know, my thing is like later on now, like just not let's not say that it wasn't a time. Let's not be revisionist historians to where they both didn't have a fight signed. They both was on there saying we're going to fight, just not right now. And at that time, Devin still chose to fight this version of Loma instead of fighting Shakur, because I'm thinking, man, that might be a trilogy. If they both as good as they say they are, and they get it popping right now, because I don't know how old was Leonard and them, like when they was getting it popping. Wasn't they like 22? How old were they? How old were they, man? When they
first... I would say Leonard was maybe about 23, 24 when he fought for his first title.
So we talking about an undisputed and then a 2-division title, like, so now like it still got to marinate. It still got to marinate. I'm just greedy, man. I'm just greedy, you know. But you're right, and he pretty much did tell him, man, he has that right. You know what I'm saying? He has that right. I can't say anything about that, you know. So I agree with you in that, and that's why I like, you know, I go off. You know what I'm saying? I go off. And I start looking at it like, man, I want, you know, I be for the fans who be wanting that, you know, who be like, man, it's the way, cause I be thinking too militant, like, you know what I'm saying? When they be saying somebody gotta go, like they gotta go now, like what are we waiting for? Like, I mean, if we already know that they gotta go, like if it's on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's how I think. I'm militant, so I be like, man, it's a way, and we about to make it happen. To the moon, you know what I'm saying? 0 to 60, and then you come along and you give me your perspective, and I can't do nothing but learn.
Listen, as an observer, this is what I see. Okay, this is what the way I see the map being drawn. Okay, by Devin attending Loma's last fight. Okay, and he almost committed himself, because there's very few times when a champion calls out a fighter to fight. It's usually the contender calling out the champion saying, I want your belt. Okay? But in this particular case, Devin, after the conclusion of the fight that Loma had, actually went into the ring as the champion. And he's literally calling out a person that's a contender to the title. Okay? It's one thing to go and watch a fight from the seat. And then when the fight is over, you exit. Okay, that means you are waiting for this person to call you out. But Devin went into the ring as undisputed and literally has called a fight with Lomachenko. Now, at this point, the only thing Lomachenko can do is talk to his people and try to accept this fight. Okay? Because for him, it's now or never. He needs, if he wants to get back on, you know, being a champion, here's a champion calling you out in the ring of your fight. And if you really want it, you have to now accept this challenge. Because if you put this on the back burner, you may lose your opportunity to fight a champion. And then the big thing about it, if you're able to fight this champ, all the belts will be on the line. So what Devin did was he preempted a fight with Lomachenko. Now, he may gonna fight Shakur too. But the way he's mapping this, it looks like the fight with Lomachenko is first. And then after that, maybe a fight with Shakur. Because let's keep things in perspective. Shakur just moved up in weight, okay? And we're waiting to see who he's gonna fight at 135 to make his debut. What I see happening is Devin taking the fight with Lomachenko, and then Shakur making his debut fight at 135. And after he does that, then the doors are wide open for them to then make their match. And I just see it that way. I just see the fight with Lomachenko first, and then maybe the fight with Shakur coming next, because Bill has said, you get it done on the table and we're gonna accept. We're accepting all fights. So you do what you gotta do, and when you come to us, we're ready. But I don't think it's gonna happen before the fight with Lomachenko, because if he don't fight Lomachenko, it's gonna make it look like that was all for show what he did coming into the ring after the fight. And you know what I mean?
So you spoke to two different things. You spoke to the ceremony, which I love. You know what I'm saying? You spoke to the ceremony of him actually getting into the ring. So he did do that. He got in there. They had their moment. We talked about that on the show. They had their moment where, you know, they got a build up. They got images. They invested already in that. Okay, so yeah, so they're invested in it. So they have that kind of footage and the build up and then the history, like the timeline, the story. They're gonna really build that fight up, and that's a built up fight. So, and then you also spoke to the business side, like, you're right. Bill did tell him. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, Bill like to talk, and sometimes he telling the truth. So, that's all I can say about that. But he did say if they can get it on the table, they're going to accept. So that's the business side. The thing is this for me, because I've been seeing a lot of people saying this online, and this is good sparring. You know what I'm saying? You keep me on my P's, on my tippy toes. But my thing is this: people have been saying that they knew when I was saying, man, that's Bob's new bud, and that's all Bob. And they were saying, no, Devin can do whatever he want. And I was like, nah, man, he got to do what Bob say. It's two Cambosas and then it's Loma. I never knew about no Shakur. I've been saying that, right? And everybody was just like, no, it's not. He's moving up. All this other stuff. So if that's been the plan, what's taking so long? Like, what's taking so long? Like, when? Because Cambosas and Devin for I don't know how long ago, but what is taking them guys so long to actually come to say, hey, we got ink to paper, or like what's taking so long?
Well, and we often talk about it, the politics of boxing. In order to make a fight happen, it takes more than just the two fighters saying, yeah, I want to fight you. All right, let's get the fight on. The leg work and really getting the fight done is through the promoters. And good promoters, if they know that their client really wants to fight somebody, they will do the best they can to come to the table with some sort of agreement. But sometimes greed gets involved, and the promoter won't commit to the fight because he wants the lion's share of the purse.
But look, they have the same. They under Bob. They with Bob. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like they with Bob. Like they both.
I think it's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen before the fight with Lomachenko.
You know what I'm saying? Loma, that's like Bob and Loma, that's his guy. Like they both with Bob. Devin and them is with Bob. Like I don't know why people don't. They both with Bob. Like why is Bob? Like that's all Bob. They do like that's what Lomachenko fight. That's what Devin is signed to. Like I'm saying, they was in the ring together. So from that point in time, if that was the case, like they under the same. This ain't like no like what, like a Spence Bud situation where Bud just out there flapping, or he, latch on with Black Prime and, Optimus Prime, and then they, they trying to get with Al and them. They all under the same thing. Like they, that's what I don't know. I mean, I know it's politics, but I'm like, Tank done broke ground with Hector. Tank done broke ground with, he got Ryan on deck with Golden. Like, I don't understand. He done put everybody on the map. PBC done did their thing. I'm like, what's taking so long for the fight to be announced then? Like, because for now, like, whatever Devin say to anybody, whether it's T.O., whether it's Shakur, whether it's Gary Russell, he won't even say Regis. He won't even say Regis' name. He won't even say that name. Like, even when they go up, they not looking for Regis. That's crazy. They looking to go fight T.O., who's going to be in an eliminator to get Regis. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, man, like, I've never heard of that. That'll be the first time in history, too, like, where he going to go fight somebody like T.O. So anything he say leading up into that, I'm not going to be able to, it's all cap to me in regard to anybody else but Loma at this point. Anybody else, unless Shakur come out and slap a contract on the desk, that could happen.
What I see first and foremost, I see Devin and Loma fighting. I see that fight happening. When he stepped in that ring, literally calling him out, and at this particular point, Loma has to accept that fight. He don't have time not to accept it if he wants to be a champion again. So I see the fight with Devin and Loma happening.
I see it happening, but I'm like, what's taking so long? That's my question. We know it's happening now, but I'm like, what's taking them so long to like make the fight? They work with the same people. Like why are they dragging their feet? If you don't know,
it could be, the purse, the fight location, where they gonna do it. Cause see, a lot of times, we as observers, we just want to see these guys get in the ring and fight. But with the promotion of the fight comes the venue. What do you think you can make from the venue? Is there gonna be some pay-per-view involved? And how everything is going to be split. See, a lot of the stuff that we don't see as observers have to be ironed out before the fight is actually solidified. Because usually when they solidify the fight, they're going to tell you the city is going to happen, what fighting venue is going to be. Let's say, for example, if they decide to fight in Vegas. If they decide to fight in Vegas, then it's going to be what venue they're going to use. And what's the purse going to be? What's the pay-per-view? Who's going to... See, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in these fights other than the spectator just watching the two in the ring. So I would like to think that the reason why this fight hasn't been announced yet is because they ironing out all the particulars. They got the two people that's gonna fight, but now the staging process and the purse and the other intangibles that go into paying these guys to fight, I would like to think that that's what the holdup is. They're trying to configure all of that. They got the two combatants, but now it takes, you know what I mean? It takes really fine tuning everything to make it happen. Okay. And I would like to think that's what's going on now.
I got you. I appreciate that, man. Shoot. What other things been on your mind? Anything in particular?
No, but I would like to see Shakur get his chance at fighting Devin, because Shakur, as we talked about before, I say he's daring to be great. He's moving up and he wants to fight the best, because he has indicated in so many words, in order to be the best, you gotta fight the best. So he's already calling out Devin right now. He wants to fight.
Yeah,
So
I just look at it like more ceremonial. I'm not even trying to. I can't invest any energy into that right now. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? It can happen now. You know, I can't invest any energy in it, because the minute Devin fight Lomachenko, and if he beat Lomachenko, man, ain't no telling when he gonna fight Shakur. If the whole reasoning behind it not happening now is because Shakur just moved up, and then, you know, the ceremony and all that. I mean, I don't. I mean, if he was to just move up, have that fight, and then after Lomachenko, it'll be him and Shakur at 140. That'll be unprecedented. I just, man, if that's what you just sold me, you got me sold. You know, but I don't, man. I wouldn't, man. If I held my breath on that to happen, man, we might not have any more according to my old heads anymore, man. You might have to learn how to run it, you know what I'm saying, and keep it going for your boy.
Okay, this is what I see happening, and what I see to be feasible. I see Lomachenko and Devin fight, and then Devin gonna defend his 135 title against Shakur, because that's what Shakur wants. He's moving up and he's calling out anybody at 135. So to make the money available and getting the goods while it's there, once Devin fights Loma, and hopefully he will defeat Loma, okay? And then once he defeats Loma, the stage is set for him and Shakur. It is set. Shakur is calling him out, and Bill is saying, good, we're gonna fight you. But in order to get this fight done, you got to do some leg work and get this fight to us, because we're not turning down anything. So if what Bill is saying is correct, he's saying he do want to fight Shakur. But it looks like they may have something else that they have to take care of first in Lomachenko, because they done already set the stage for this.
Yeah, and there you go, Mr. Bill Haney. So you have an advocate. You got somebody that keeps me with a level head, you know, about everything. And you know, according to my old head, hey, yeah, you in good standing. You know what I'm saying? You in good standing. So I hope what you're saying is right and exact. You know,
I hope it. Listen, what I'm saying not only is what I'm hearing in so many words from Bill, but it's what I want too. I want to see this as a fan. And Bill is saying, oh no, we're not ducking you, in so many words. We want to fight you. But a little bit of leg work got to be done. And then once that leg work is done, oh, we're going to accept it. We're going to fight you. We're the champ. We're undisputed. We can't turn down nobody, because we understand everybody's coming to us in order to get a title shot. So in order to get this title, you got to come to me. So you go out, do what you got to do, and when we get the paperwork, we're going to fight you. I mean, that's what I'm hearing from Bill. Now, if Shakur is able to do things on his end, and then Bill and his group is not doing it, then as far as I'm concerned, he's going back on his word.
But we'll see. We'll stamp it. We'll stamp it right there. You know what I'm saying? I think, hey, you shed light on a lot of things, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna ride with you. Because I'm gonna leave you with this. I was kicking it with Amin over there on championship rounds, and a while back, Demetrius Andrade had he had came up, so we talked about him, and I was like, man, he's like, what do you think? Because I was used to do a lot of jumping on Andrade and this and this, and then I sat back and I looked at everything and I analyzed, and I said, you know what? I started digging and watching. I said, look, we're gonna give him a mulligan, and I gave all the reasons as to why, and I did a video about him probably the next day, and he shared it on his story. And since then, people were saying, oh man, he missed this opportunity, that opportunity, and come to find out, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade is going to be on the Tank undercard on January the 7th. He's fighting Damon Nicholson, one of Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny and them, Tank's clique, one of his fighters who has shared the ring with David Benavidez. So I want to give Boo Boo Andrade a shout out too. And he also was saying, him and Charlo, Big Maul Charlo would be there. So that's an update that when you send out positive vibes and you pull for, good things to happen, like what you just said. Like, I'm pulling for it too. You got me real back in. So that's just an update on that. But you put out positive vibes and you start, sometimes the boxing guys start getting things right. It's ups and downs in this boxing thing, but we love it. And I appreciate, your opinions and everything, man. They do. People like them. I see them. They influence people, so keep keeping it all the way funky and keep being available. And we gonna keep making these.
Well, one thing about it, as a boxing fan, we will tell our views on what we see.
Right.
But just like in any sport, individuals may not always agree with what we have to say. Maybe some parts they might say yeah, but they may not totally agree. But that's sports commentary. That's the way things go.
Right.
You're not going to always agree 100% in what I say, but I don't think that you can totally dismiss everything I say 100%.
That's right.
That's right. You have to say, well, maybe he's got a point on this, but I think this. But when it gets to the point when individuals totally 100% dismiss you, then they're saying what you're saying makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, you had me thinking. You be having me thinking, though. You. That's what I'm saying. You give me that perspective, and you have more seasons under your belt of watching boxing than me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, hey, that's why I wanted you to have a voice. I wanted people to be able to hear and get your honest feedback, and I rock with you. So again, I appreciate it. Thanks for the lesson, man. See, you got a lesson from my old head K there. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna keep doing them, like I said, and I'll probably hit you up. Shoot, I might hit you up tomorrow.
Okay, sure.
All right, then. Enjoy your evening.
All right, Mike. It is always a pleasure talking that body work.
All right, then. All right.
Okay, you have a good one.
All right, peace. Yeah, that was my old head K. See, you know what I'm saying? Level heads, man. Level heads. Like, see, I'm an advocate for all of the fans. I'm an advocate for the fan that want it right here. You know what I'm saying? Right now. I'm an advocate for, the people who troll. Because contrary to popular belief, when you tell the truth a lot of the times, people say you troll. So that word get thrown around, but yeah, I troll. But I think that was a good segment. And man, you can be enlightened, man. I listen, I learn, I watch, I observe, you know, and I keep it body work. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you go for the body, you might miss. You know what I'm saying? You might get counted to the body. You know what I'm saying? My old head, you know, he got me with a couple liver shots. I'm like, oh, gotta tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Had to tighten up. So, you know what I'm saying? He did some body work today. And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, man, thanks for everybody who tune in and watch and listen. And whether you agree or disagree or whatever, it's just another, you know, view through a different lens. You know what I'm saying? We try to do a little bit of it all. You know, we really like the X's and O's, and you know, as the fight get closer and we get some more film on these guys, especially against these notable names that should be coming up, like the Lomachenko and all that, you know what I'm saying, we'll get more into the X's and O's. So, but anyways, thanks for listening again. Hit the subscribe button for your boy here at Bodywork Boxing, where we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.